Everyone we see is a reflection of us. I like to talk about thoughts. I feel that as a human culture, the thoughts of people is where it hits home the most. Thoughts change worlds, thoughts create ideas. But where exactly does a thought come from? Where does it come from? Is it from some magical place? Did you create it? Did your mind create it? But our minds are storage devices, they don't create thoughts. So it is rather interesting when you think about it. When a thought comes to your mind, do you observe it? How does it make you feel? Does it make you fearful, angry, or concerned? Does this thought weigh you down with heaviness and dark energy? Or is it light and positive and happy and cheerful? Many people are taught to run and hide. Many people are taught to evade or not accept it. That one does not simply exist if you do not confront or acknowledge or strategize the existence of the opposite forces. So the opposite force that is against the light and enlightenment of oneself, well, that's the dark. But it cannot be that bad. For if there was no darkness, there would be no light. We know this. So the dark would have nothing to reflect off if we did not have light. And light would have nothing to reflect off if we did not have dark. So of these opposing thoughts, we have to break down the barrier of darkness and light, good and evil, and see the thought for what it actually is. So what is a thought? Is it a question, possibility, a manifestation? These are questions that can all be asked. For you see, the goodness of a thought can help heal or create or awaken people, design, make us feel good. It can also create the opposite. For example, chasing losses. I know which one I want to feel. More often than not, I'd rather be positive. So chasing losses. Let's look at this. Let's say you're in a little bit of a gambling establishment, a casino, or whatever it may be, and you're on a winning run. Where's your mind placed? It's on the winning, it's on the run. You keep going, so it's positive. Until what? What happens? Are you the type of person that continues to run? But then a thought comes into your head, doesn't it, sometimes? You go, oh, if I lose, if I have one loss, I'll stop right there and I'll walk away. More often than not, that happens. So you gotta ask yourself, why does that happen? Where did that thought come from? Did I create that thought, or was that thought implanted in my brain as to not get greedy? But you see, there is always a balance. But with this, ask yourself, what happens after the loss? Well, two things can occur. One, you say to yourself, or think, I'll play another game. And if I lose again, I'll walk away because I know it's the universe telling me to walk away. Or, on the other hand, You might win, and if you say, well, if I win, then I'm on my positive streak and I'm going to keep winning and play again until I lose. But how much of your energy do you focus on the positive one? Or has your mind shifted a little bit more over to losing? You see, thinking more of the loss is thinking more on the darker side, attracting the dark energy of fear and loss, which is why it becomes very powerful. However, love and joy and winning and lightness is just as powerful if you connect to it. But it's about shielding and attracting that connection. It repels the darkness. But you can also accept the darkness. So if you lose again, you can say, well, I had a solid run, I'll stop. You keep that light energy. You keep that humility and humbleness aside. You see, that's just it. They want you to chase the losses. They want you to chase things with a darker, hopeful energy. Because wishful thinking and hope turns into misery and lack thereof. But you have it in your hand already. But one takes greed and lust, and therefore it turns your energy. So, have you created a thought? Or have you created new possibilities with the chance of them occurring due to the thought that has been in your mind? And how much focus you placed upon that thought, which therefore shifted to doubt, creating that very thought into existence. And this is the key difference between knowing and believing. And both are very powerful words. And both of these words can be manipulated to be used in a negative manner. Which is why understanding your thoughts is very critical. For example, believing, the word believing can turn into hope. I believe, I hope. And it's a positive one. But hope can turn into desire, wishful thinking, urging, lust, meaning that you don't actually have what it is that you're longing for. But because of that, you're placing too much thought upon the lack thereof, rather than having it already. Whereas knowing is the truth. It is the very fact that it will happen because I know it. And when you know something, it becomes factual and becomes real. The use of energy and how we learn the words is crucial to how the mind perceives and feels the energy of that word. Knowing believing is just one or two of the very words. Every word that we learn that is critical comes from learning through child books, through parents teaching us, through school, through textbooks that we read. There are words there that are dark associated words, and there are words that are positive. But not one of those books teaches us on how to use those words collectively. So the context and the situation that we learn the word from is so important to allowing our mind to realize the way out of the English language spell prison is to use it in the correct manner. We all have experienced this with different scenarios in, I believe in, what's the feeling around that? The words are powerful. How many times have you said something and it's happened? And you join that with a thought. Your words and your thoughts, therefore creating the marvel that you see around you. When you know something, you can try this experiment, and you know it exists. You know it's real. Let's say it's something positive and powerful. It might be a child, it might be a happy memory, but you know it's real. I want you to place your focus and your energy upon that, and focus on how it makes you feel, because you know it. Now I want you to use that same idea for something you believe in, and I want you to see if there's an energy change. You believe it? Do you know it's true? Or do you just believe in it? Is there a difference in energy? How does it make you feel? So, we can see why it is very important to observe one's thought, and before acting on one's thought, we assess the energy that is around it and how it makes you feel. For it's critical. So where does a thought come from? Well, many places. Can a thought be your own? Can it be someone else's thought? Can it be an implanted thought? Can they do that? Anything's possible. So how do you shield yourself from a negative thought? If it is not your own, because you're all positive, how do you shield against it? It's a section for another time, I believe. And I will go into it in another conversation about how we can shield against our energy, how we can grow and uplift from it and transmute and identify in another one. But as for now, peace and love always.